Okay, what's good? What's good? Okay, it's working. All right, what did I do this week? Yeah, I got my hair done and everything. Woke up like this. It's currently a Friday, 8th of August. It is 10:40. No, sorry, 10:35. My watch is always 5 minutes early. And I'm about, man, this week I've been lazy. Yeah, lazy. I mean, I've been hitting the gym pretty much every day. But in terms of working on Pioneers of Greatness, I haven't done much. I did a bit of client work, which I need to send updates to my client. And other than that, yeah, man, I have no excuse, honestly. I should be more strict with my time, but shit happens. I'll just treat this week as a rest, me resting before I hit the ground running again. But yeah, what did I do this week, honestly? I was supposed to make the adjustments for the denim jacket. Of course, I didn't do any of that. And I mean, yeah, I guess you get weeks like this where not much is going. And well, physical wise, I've been in the gym, which is great. Making that an absolute routine, an absolute, what do you call it? There's a word for it where it's a non-negotiable. So I'm slowly integrating hitting the gym, going to the gym as a non-negotiable. So during the weekdays, I have to go 5 days straight, which I've been doing the past couple of months, I would say. I mean, there would be days where I would skip one day max. So I would go 4 to 5 times a week. And I've been seeing the results, which is great. Especially I'm also trying to weight cut. So I've been on a deficit for like the last couple of weeks, really, or even months. Because I'm trying to see six pack, man. I'm trying to see that a proper six pack, like without having to flex your abs or whatever, or just full on lean, Just I just want to see what my body's capable of, you know. And I'm still young, and it would be a shame if I go living my life and not push my body to its, full capabilities. And that's seeing my peak form, and maintaining that peak form. And to be honest, I don't drink, I don't smoke. I think my only thing would be is I have a sweet tooth, which I have to, control. Especially I'm on a calorie deficit the past few weeks, months. And watching doing my best to watch like the macros and whatnot, but trying to hit the protein intake, especially when I'm trying to retain the muscle, not lose the muscle. Quite like my physique now, and I'd like to maintain that physique but then become leaner. So whatever fat I lose, I would like to gain that in muscle. But yeah, man, honestly, it does require a lot of discipline, going to the gym five days a week. especially when I have a weird barge like shifting bar shift hours. So today I have, man, it's a bit annoying, man. I start at 4 p.m., finish at 1 a.m., man. Like fuck all of that. See, it's like it's very, there's no routine, there's no set hours. So I could be early shift one day, then the next day I'm late shift, or the next day I'm middle shift. But yeah, man, that's one of the, I'd say, the hard things with having a bar job is having to build a routine around the fluctuating hours. That's why even having like, usually I would have like set blocked hours where I would like, okay, during this time this is where I'd be going to the gym, or this time is where I would be doing Pioneers of Greatness. But because my shifts fluctuate, I have to plan slightly in advance and whatnot, and it's always shifting. But to be fair, this week I only had one shift, so I had no excuse. I should have done more work with Pioneers of Greatness. But honestly, all of this just gets tiring, so I guess my body just needed that rest. And on top of that, going a gym 5 days a week. Although I do feel energized when I go to the gym, and then after the gym, once I've done my workout. And especially when I go to the gym, I'm usually on an empty stomach, and in a 12 to 16 hour fast, because I don't even eat breakfast. But that's just because that's just been my thing. I've got My body has gotten used to not having breakfast, so I eat later on the day. But that depends if I'm on early shift. If I'm early shift, would I eat? Sometimes I would eat like a yogurt, for a protein boost, or a, protein shake. That's just so I can hit my protein protein goal for the day. But usually I wouldn't even have breakfast, and my body's just used to that. I know most people would want like, I don't know, like a little bite or whatever before working out, or even just on their day to day. For me, it's just straight up water, man. Water, protein shake if I need to hit the protein. But yeah, I think in terms of lifestyle, I'm pretty clean compared to the average person. That's why I don't really put I don't really put on much weight. I'd say throughout the last 10 years, my weight probably just shifted between max 10 kg, and that's in a span of 10 years. So I would put on 1 kg of weight essentially per year. But more or less, it's my weight stays in the same range. But now that I'm, cutting weight and trying to find like an optimal weight where my body's lean enough so I can see my abs properly. And that's just something I'm experimenting with this year. Like, I've always gone to the gym back then, but it was like an on and off thing. But I remember like when I really went to the gym, this was like back in 2016. Yeah, almost 10 years ago. I think I bulked up to my heaviest, like 70 kg. That's like just eating whatever. It wasn't even like, it was good food, but I was just eating whatever and then just having as much calories, you know. But now, since I have, ChatGPT, I can handle the sort of the dieting and all of that nutritional stuff sort of more accurately. It's like I have a personal trainer that, or even like a personal chef, whatever. Well, these kittens, man, they're on the zoomies. But yeah, I think, yeah, that's one of the big things 10 years on, or yeah, almost 10 years on. Like the power of AI. Like I use ChatGPT almost every day, from helping me, think, helping me, brainstorm my ideas for, pioneers of greatness, for personal fitness, mental health, blah, blah, blah. The list goes on. And I think for me, I really use AI to amplify my thinking, to understand myself, especially when I do these uncut entries. I actually feed this in ChatGPT. So I would grab the transcripts for each of the entries, then do like a little psycho analysis of sort of like the mind up that I would do in each of the entries, and then compare it from the last week, and then see how like my thinking has progressed, or what has remained, or what has changed, yada yada yada, just so I can understand myself better. I think most of the answers that we look for is actually within us already, and it's not found externally. That's why I heavily lean on introspection, intuition, and just listening to yourself, your inner self. And that's why I'm able to sort of live in a bubble. Honestly, I live in a bubble. I don't go out as much. I only go out if I have work or I go to the gym. Other than that, or if my girlfriend has a performance going on, or if there's an event that we're gonna go to, or if she wants to travel somewhere, those are like the only times. Or if I meet up with friends, honestly, I meet up with my friends perhaps once or twice a month. I'm one of those guys that are super low maintenance, like I don't need to see my friends every day, like, because for me, I'm an introvert. I prefer, I enjoy my own time, and when I over socialize, it drains me a lot actually, and it takes me weeks to recharge. But yeah, man, honestly, there's not much I can talk about this week apart from those things, especially since these things happen, and there'll be more of this in the future. It's just I need to be able to, control what can be controlled, and then for the things that I can't control, just let it be, What time is this? 14 minutes. Okay, I got some time to play with. I usually keep these entries within, 20 minutes. I think that's enough for me to sort of mind dump, and then find a core topic to anchor on. Usually it's multiple topics, like I did now. And I've always said this, I prefer these type of formats where it's basically a diary. So whatever I'm thinking right now, that's what I would be talking about. Because I love the form of capturing the rawness of being in the moment. That's why I set the camera up and then press play without really not knowing what to talk about, only having the framework of I need to talk about what happened this week. And not much happened this week, so I'm just talking about whatever I can and log that in these entries. But yeah, no, just reflecting back on the actual entries that I've done, I think I really sort of document how it's like to just be in my circumstance, having that part-time bar job, and knowing that I'm destined for something greater, knowing my true potential, and then my true potential not aligning with my circumstances, and there's that friction there, and then also not being there financially, knowing that my future self is already a millionaire, but the gap between my current self and my future self feels so far off, even though each week I can see that I'm, moving closer to that higher self that has accumulated the wealth, the knowledge, and the good habits, the good routine that would, end up building the empire that I'm currently working towards now. And yeah, I think not many people talk about how difficult it is to live day by day, work a dead end job, honestly. Like, a bar job's a bar job, and I don't intend to stay in a bar job for the rest of my life. It's just a means to an end. And I don't know, man. It's weird because there's that friction. I don't think many people feel this friction. It's only for those who are very ambitious, because they know in their mind they've already seen what they're capable of, way before the world can even see it. And it's like you're in purgatory. You're just in this. I've said this before. It's like no man's land. You're just there in the middle of nowhere, and in each direction it feels like an infinite stretch of just space. And no matter how far you run, it feels like you don't get closer to your goal. And that's how it feels when you're in this period, But yeah, all I can do is be patient, stay curious, stay curious, and be as optimistic as possible, to the point of delusion, until that delusion becomes a reality. But to be fair, I think in the future I would look back at these entries and be like, wow, life back then was so simple. But yeah, no, it's weird, honestly. It's weird being in this position, especially knowing your purpose. So I know, like, usually people are like in their like midlife crisis when they're in their 30s. They've done the corporate life, and then now they're questioning, why is this what my life is? Just working my time away for someone else's dream, for a paycheck, in a set hours each day. But then there's me who veered off that corporate life, gone on, did my own shit, regardless of results, regardless of the paycheck. And then here I am now, worrying about a different thing. I'm more of sort of, I know my purpose, so I'm not even worrying about that. It's more of finance, stability, approaching that age where I'll start to, think of starting a family and whatnot. But obviously the circumstances, it's not allowing that at the moment. So I have a different sort of midlife crisis type shit. So no matter where you are in life, there will always be a problem anyway. So even if you know your purpose, or even if you don't know your purpose, there'll always be a problem. So what can you really do? I think what you can do is just be as optimistic as possible, like I said. But yeah, because what does worrying do? Worrying doesn't get you a step closer to your goals, your aspirations, and whatever you want to achieve in life. So you might as well be, positive. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, honestly. Like, I've been rambling on. This is almost, yeah, it's past 20 minutes. But yeah, and these kittens are just zooming around like crazy. I need to hit the gym soon. Yeah, that's it from me, man. I'm out. Peace.